My name is Kevin Ray, and you're listening to Truckers and Others. Welcome back. Here we are. We're rolling around, trying to get right here Monday. Oh man, what a wild morning today. And I mean, not even wild. It's just been wild because I woke up at the time I was supposed to be leaving my house. So Mondays we have the Monday meeting. It's supposed to be at the shop at 6:30, and then from 6:30 to 7 we sit around and we talk about stuff that's been going on. And yeah, I woke up at 6:30. So I was like, oh fuck. And I hurried up and got ready and got the fuck out of the house. Took a little longer than I expected. I don't know what's been going on with me. I set my alarms last night, so whenever I woke up, it said I had slept through 7 alarms. I was like, oh no. Oh, no. Not good. But we're going to be okay. I get to work, and I run in there, and I'm talking to the office lady, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened to me. She's like, you pulled in right behind me. What are you talking about? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you pulled in right behind me. I'm like, yeah, I did. So I just completely lied. I will not be taking money for that half hour. I'm not going to say I was here for the Monday meeting when I definitely was not. Our main boss is still in Greenland, so that's good. I'm glad he wasn't here for today. I missed a Monday meeting a couple weeks back also. I don't know, man. And it's, a lot of, the way you would look at it on paper, you'd say, dude, you are a fucking slacker. You've been getting away with it. You just keep getting away with it. You have no remorse, blah, 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 go on and on and on. And on paper, I'd agree with you. But in reality, no. I'm like, I really, if this job that I'm at would fire people for being late more than like 3 times or something, I'd be fired. I can never be on time for anything. It's a problem that I've had for a very long time. I either show up extra early or I'm 15 minutes late. In today's regard, I was 30 minutes late. I don't know. Luckily, I set alarms up until when I set them, because the very last one is the one that I woke up to, and I opened my eyes and I'm like, oh, no, that ain't no good. And I hurried up and got up. Luckily, my dog last night, my boy Rusty, he's my boxer lab dog. He's such a good boy. Like, I can't imagine a better dog than my dog Rusty. He is so fucking good. I love him so much. He's my very first dog. I got him, what would be almost, coming up this Thanksgiving, it'll be 11 years ago is when I picked him up. And I got him at 6 weeks old from my cousin. And I don't know, maybe there might be some sort of an attachment with him also, because that Thanksgiving that we were at was the last normal Thanksgiving. It was the last time I saw my dad before he passed away. And I remember being at the Thanksgiving talking to him, and he's talking weird stuff. But whatever, it's normal for him to be a little weird. And I took off and I went to a barn because some of my little cousins were like, hey, you wanted one of these puppies? They're ready. So I just grabbed one. I grabbed one. It was a girl. And then I put it back. And then I grabbed another one. It was a boy. And I said, this is the one. We're in a dark barn Thanksgiving night. I'm just grabbing puppies out of a barn. Like, we walked in there and they all, like, scattered. These are barn puppies. And I took the dog back to the party at my uncle's house, one of my other uncle's house. And I showed my dad, and he's like, what the hell? I'm like, I got me a dog. And it was just a nice little time hanging out with my dad for the last time, I guess. And, yeah, I don't know. So he's such a good boy, but he's starting to have issues, man. I don't know what the hell's going on with him. So I had a big scare. Well, yeah, I guess it was a big scare. It was a big scare a few weeks ago when I was worried about him because he was acting super strange. He was not eating, and I just kind of left him alone. I was trying to book doctor's appointments and trying to get time off of work, and it was not, none of that shit was working. And I was getting really kind of upset about the whole deal. And then, we had to wait for over the weekend. I don't know. I had a bunch of doctors or vet appointments set up for him. And, but I ended up skipping all, or I only had like one set up actually. But I called and I made some and took some down and moved some around. I don't know. It was a fucking wild time. And then, I don't know, woke up Monday and he was happy-go-lucky doggy. So he was fine. And then last night, my wife, we even took videos of him because he was zooming around the living room like a freaking madman. He was just having a great time. He was the happiest little dog. Not little, he's a big boy, but he was the happiest doggy running around the house, playing with the other dogs, letting the kids pet him, running behind the couch, which he never goes behind the couch unless there's like thunder or something. And if he does go behind the couch, he goes through the side that he can fit. No, he decided to go in between the wall and the couch, like because there's a banister behind my couch. He decided to go through there and rip all my wires, like, because I have a bunch of stuff plugged in over there. He pulled all that shit out, and he was just knocked my lamp over. I was like, oh my gosh, what are you doing, dude? And we were taking videos of him because he's acting so silly and everything. And then he laid down on the floor. I don't know. We let him out a few times, all of the dogs, because I got 3 of them. And then we were just kind of hanging out last night. And then my wife was like, hey, don't you have paperwork to do? And I went to go put the feet of the chair that I was sitting in down. And it bumped into his butt. And normally when things bump, if my chair even gets close to him, he freaks the fuck out and runs, jumps out of the way or whatever. He's a super scaredy cat also. And so it was really weird that he wasn't moving. I was trying to put my feet down. I was like, dude, get out of the way. And I finally got him to get up, and then he went over and he was standing super duper weird in front of my wife, like with his back hunched over and his head held really low. It was like he was sleeping when he was standing. It was super weird. And she was trying to tell me some bullshit about whatever the fuck. And I'm like, hey, shut the fuck up. Look at him. I didn't say that, but that's how I felt in the moment. I'm like, do you not notice the dog is doing some weird stuff right now? Hold on. Stop telling me about Leslie winning a fucking Mother's Day competition at Texas Roadhouse. I remember what the fuck she was talking about, okay? Don't say I don't listen. I listen. She's trying to tell me something. I never got to the end of it. I don't know what she won. I don't know anything about it. But I do know my dog was acting really fucking weird. And I said, shut up, hold on. Look at him. And I got him to lay down and relax. And then he just started, like, he wasn't convulsing. He wasn't having a seizure or anything like that. He was just shivering on the floor like he was cold. And I felt him. He wasn't warm. He wasn't cold. I don't know what was going on with him. But then I started to notice in his, like, armpit area, he had 2 ticks. And then I noticed another one on his leg, and I didn't get to his other side, but I noticed a couple ticks on him. I got one tick off of him, and while he was like, I don't know what he was doing. He was almost paralyzed or something. He was just would not move for anything. Like I could tickle the hair in his paw, and he would just lay there. And usually he'd at least pull his paw away or something. So I don't know. He was acting super strange. I got one tick off of him. After what, like we went ahead and we were like trying to look up some of the symptoms he was having on Google. You know, that's not a good idea. Just it's like, oh, he's dying. Damn it. But we were just looking up some stuff. I was like, order some tick medicine, and then she's like, why don't you try to pull some of them off? So I pulled one of them off, and then I went for the second one, which was the big boy, and he would not let me get it off of him. Like he was in pain, he was frightened, he was shivering, he was not in a good mood to be fucked with at the moment. And so I was like, you know, just get the tick stuff, we'll put it on them, they'll fall off. Don't worry about it. So, but I have no idea if the ticks are even related to what's going on with him, you know. I guess they could, but I mean, he's had ticks before. There was one really bad year, probably back in 2015 or 16, when I had them, both my dogs, my big dogs, and they were both covered in fucking ticks. And I put the tick medicine on them, and I had little fucking grates of ticks falling all over my fucking floor. And you'd step on them, and there'd be blood everywhere, and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? Oh, I stepped on a tick. Little blueberry tick. So I don't know, but yeah, the medicine works on him. So we got some medicine coming today. We're gonna get it put on him, but I don't know. This morning he was fine. He went outside, ran down the stairs to the deck, peed, pooped, ran back in, ran downstairs. Cybertruck ran downstairs when I was feeding the other little dogs, because I don't know, something happened with him a little while back. It was after I got the deep freeze, where he does not like to be in the garage at all anymore. I don't know if it's emitting a sound. I'm not sure. So I feed the little dogs in the garage, and then I grab his food or his bowl, and then I take it inside, and I just feed him at the bottom of the stairs. And it seems to work out pretty well. And yeah, this morning he was up, cheery, happy, fine. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with him. I don't know if it is getting close to the end for him. I mean, being 11 years old almost, that's pretty old. But it doesn't seem old. Like I said, he was running around like a puppy earlier, and he's never had like any issues. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with him. So that's the update on the doggy. Over the week, so Friday, my job got switched. I was supposed to drive out to do some concrete slurry job or something, but it got switched, and then I went out to this project on the levee. Oh. Not a big deal. Just grab a roll-off truck. There's already been a guy out there doing the roll-off truck stuff, but they wanted a second roll-off truck to move some stuff around. So yeah, I wake up I woke up at 4 a.m. and got to work at 5. Met up with the other dude that I was working with. We grabbed 2 roll-off trucks, and we head to the job site. We both load up a loaded box, and then we hightail it to the landfill. We dump them out. Mine, it was having some sticky issues, like the mud or whatever was in there was real sticky. So it was kind of hard to dump it out. We got most of it out, but they're refilling the boxes anyway, so it's not like we have to clean them or anything. They have 7 roll-off boxes out there, and there's a big drill, like a giant fucking drill. It goes like 100 feet up in the air, and it's got tracks, and it's big. It's a big fucking actual drill rig, and they're drilling down. They're like coring down the ground so they can put in these supports for the levee project or something. And yeah, we didn't even start until like 10, so we got out there pretty early, and I was just sitting around, waiting for them to tell me what to do. It was a big fucking. It's amazing how such a big job site that's trying to accomplish one goal can have so many complications with people figuring out what the fuck is going on. Like, I got there, and I'm talking to my buddy, and he said, hey, I'm going to go take another dumpster to the landfill. You sit there with an empty box, the empty box you have on you, and wait for them to tell you what to do. I'm like, okay, cool. So I pull in there and I park, and the guy says, hey, yeah, keep putting them where you've been putting them. I was like, hey, this is my first time here, bud. I'm not the other guy. The other guy is running boxes back and forth to the landfill. I'm new. I'm Kevin. Nice to meet you. What are we doing here today? I like to start out new job sites like that. Like, no, I don't want to assume anything. I'm a new guy on the job site. That means I'm allowed to be told anything and everything going on. So he's like, all right, so we're drilling here. Need you to set the box here, and just kind of wait until we're ready. I'm like, okay, cool. And this guy, I don't know if he's been drinking some Jim Beam this morning or what, but he's a wild man. And so I get the box set down, and then another guy walks up and he's like, hey, you need to listen to this guy, a different guy. If he tells you to do anything, do it. I'm like, okay. And then that guy comes over and he's like, hey, yeah, we're working over here. If that guy tells you to do anything, do what he says. I'm like, okay, cool. And he was talking about the drill operator or whatever. And then another guy comes over, the guy that's actually in charge of me and the other guy that we're with, the guy that told us to come out there. He says, hey, how's it going? I'm like, pretty good. They told me to sit here and do this. He said, okay, cool. Listen to them. I'm like, will do. No problem. Sitting there, just hanging out on my phone in the truck, just watching kind of things go on, watching them get everything set up and ready to go. And then the operator comes over to me and says, hey, need you to unhook from that box and hook up to that frac tank. There's like a little frac tank. Usually the frac tanks we haul are like the big 21,000. This was a small one. I don't know if it was 10,000 or if it was like 8,000. I don't know how big or heavy it would be if it was full, but it was empty. I need to grab that frac tank and get it out of here. I'm like, all right, where would you like me to put it? He's like, I don't care. Over there where your empty boxes are. I'm like, where the empties are. Okay, where are the empties? And he points over there, and I'm like, all right, cool. Again, this is my first time on this job site. I don't know where anything or what anything is, Just because there's roll-off boxes on a job site doesn't mean I have anything to do with them. So I unhook and I hook up to the frac tank. I get it loaded up. And then I'm waiting on some construction traffic to get through so I can get out and get across the tracks, because we're working on a railroad also, and get this box dropped. And as I'm waiting, one of the guys runs up to me. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, that guy over there told me to grab this and take it over there. He said, why? I'm like, not sure. But everybody told me to listen to him, so I'm listening to him. He's like, okay. And so then I almost get out and get over there, and then the guy that is more in charge of me, he runs over. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm moving this tank over there, man." He's like, "Who told you to do that?" I was like, "That guy over there." He's like, "Ugh," and he's like all angry and everything. And I'm like, "Whatever, I'm gonna continue doing my thing." So I take it over there, I drop it, and go back over there, and I get back hooked up to the box that I'm supposed to hook up to. I leave my bed tilted all the way up, and I leave the box on the ground, and I just hook up my winch cable to it, so it's lower to the ground, so they can load the drill into it a little easier. And I'm hooked up to that, and then the dude I'm working with, he said, "Hey, come back over here to where the empties are. I brought some liners for the roll-off boxes, so we don't have the dirt getting stuck to the bottom of the tanks anymore." I said, "You want me to unhook and head over there?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It looks like they're getting ready to start, because the guy was getting in the crane was moving around." I'm like, "It looks like they're getting ready to start." He's like, "No, they ain't getting ready to start, just head over here." I'm like, "Okay." So I hop out and I unhook and I start to drive off, and then I have the whirlwind of people yelling at me. "Hey, where are you going? What are you doing? Where are you going?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm just running over there. I gotta grab a liner." "No, we need this fucking thing hooked up, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay, well, I need to put a liner in it before we can fucking load on it." "What are you doing?" "Whatever, just do what you gotta do." Okay. So I drive the truck over there, grab the liner, turn her, and I'm like, "Why didn't you fucking bring the liners over to where I'm at?" Well, whatever. Or have the guy in a pickup truck that's sitting there not doing shit, tell him to bring me a liner. Something. Anyways, I drive over there, and then I get stuck in fucking and when I say construction traffic, I just mean like backhoes and track hoes and all these other pickup trucks and other work vans and just contractors and stuff. They're all in the fucking way. Like, this is a madhouse of a fucking job site. So I have to wait on all them, and I get back over there like, "You need to get hooked up to this thing." I'm like, "I know. That's exactly what I'm working on doing right now." They're like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "I don't know, man." So I get backed up to it, hooked up to it, grab the liner, hop out, go over there, roll the liner out, get the liner all set up inside the container. Everybody decided to take a break at that point in time. I don't know what the fuck. Like, it seemed like we were getting ready to go, and then we weren't, and then we were going, and we weren't. And I was just trying to hurry up and do what I needed to do. Got the liner put in, and then I'm hopping out of the dumpster. And I decided to just jump from the top of the dumpster. Like, I'm on the very not tip top. It's only like 5 foot up. But I'm standing on the rail, and I'm tipping. I'm like, I'm either going to tip and fall inside the dumpster, don't want to do that, or I'm going to jump and land on my feet outside of the dumpster. So I decide number 2. And I jump, but where I thought the ground was supposed to be, I had already, like, extended my legs for it, and I busted my fucking ass. I straight up was a fucking sketch drawing on the fucking ground. And I get up, and not everybody, but a lot of the guys standing right there, they're like, "Oh shit," and they're all looking around. They kind of block me, like, they all stand in a line, like, covering me up, and I stand up, and they're like, "Dude, the safety guy's right behind us." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, don't let him see you fucking laying on the ground." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, what if I needed the guy to see me on the ground? You motherfuckers are blocking me. Whatever, I dust myself off and get back in the truck, and I'm just sitting there like, God damn it, I can't believe I look like a fat fucking slob just laying on the fucking ground right now. Anyways, so I sit there for a while, and then the operator runs over to me. He's like, "Hey, need you to load that box up, turn around, drive through, and then back up to where I'm going." I'm like, where are you going?" He's like, "To the hole." I'm like, "Where's the hole?" He's like, "Right there, see any fucking hole. They have everything. They have a bunch of steel plates all over the ground. And I'm guessing underneath one of these fucking steel plates was the hole, but I couldn't see the fucking hole. I haven't been on this job site. So I start up the truck and I start driving away, and then the guy that's in charge of me runs up. Hey, where are you going? I'm like, I'm doing a U-turn to go in there. I got a nose in there, and then I don't know. He's like, what the fuck? So he runs over there. I don't know. It was a fucking madhouse. And eventually I got it. I figured it out. Got it all good. And I'm sitting there and they're loading me up. And he says, hey, don't let them put more than like 5 scoops on you. So they have this big like drill bit. It's like a corkscrew. The only thing I can really compare it to is like a pineapple slicer. It drills down in and then it picks up all the dirt in like it's like a 5-foot drill bit. So it drills in, it collects all the dirt, they turn off the drill, they pull it straight up, and then they rotate the drill, and then it's got a release button to open the bottom of the drill bit and let all the dirt out. And they jump 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm like, all right, you know, because it's coming over the rails a little bit now, and the dude that my buddy, he told me, don't let them put too much on you because some of these boxes were extra heavy. I'm like, okay. So after 4, I'm like, hey, I think that's good. And the guy, you know, flattens it out. Everything's nice and neat. Perfect. Load up the box, turn it around, take it over there. I drop it and I grab it empty and I head back. But at that point in time, I was texting my buddy and I'm like, hey man, in order because this drill, like it just fired up it didn't take very long. It took maybe like 15 minutes to load this box. And I would imagine that, you know, firing up such a big drill, they want to keep going. So I'm trying to get a hold of him to see if he's going to come over here with an empty box and I can take my full box over there or take my full box to the landfill and we can just keep rotating like that. And he gets all sorts of flustered. He's like, I don't fucking know what you want, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I just need to know where you're at. Are you on your way back? He's like, I'm not going to be there for half an hour. I'm like, well, it's going to be, you know, that's perfect timing to bring an empty box over here and get set up and ready to get loaded. He said, no, I'm dropping the fucking empties and grabbing fulls. I'm like, okay. Because they had a couple that were full from the day before. We only had 2 full empties at the beginning of the day. I had one, he had another. He had ended up getting a 3rd and a 4th empty. And then he gets back, and I don't know, I'm kind of lost on exactly how everything happened. It was such a long day and a lot of movement. But at one point in time, he rolled in there with an empty box with a liner, unrolled, ready to go. He was sitting there waiting for a while. I got loaded. As soon as I was loaded, I started to leave to go drop it. And that's when I was trying to figure out if I needed to head to the landfill or not. And because he was there with an empty and he was going to sit there and get loaded with his empty. And then I don't know what happened, but he ended up driving his empty back over to the empties, dropping it, grabbing a full loaded one, and then heading to landfill. And I'm like, what the fuck? And the guys at the drill are like, hey, where's the other box? I'm like, I'm working. I got to go get it. You know, I have to go get it real quick. So it's just a madhouse. Horrible communication. Just everybody changing the plan. But that day ended. They were talking about working until like 7 o'clock that night. And I was like, oh, fuck. That's not good. I don't want to work till 7. But the landfill closed at 3:30, which I thought was weird. I'm pretty sure it was open till 5. But everybody on my side was saying, no, it closed at 3:30. I'm like, okay, whatever you guys say. I'm pretty sure it closed at 5. But I think they were doing that on purpose to kind of get out of the job a little earlier. Because, I mean, but didn't really matter because if the landfill, well, I guess it did matter. If the landfill closed at 3 and we got all the boxes loaded up, there's nowhere where you can get the boxes unloaded. So we just kind of left, and things were fine. I went over, I rolled up some boxes, got back to the shop, and then, oh, what's his name? Got a flat tire. My buddy got a flat tire on his truck. So he was headed back from the landfill, and he had an empty box on him. He was headed back to the shop with an empty box to get a tire changed, and he was asking the guy that was in charge of us if he should grab a pickup and come back over or what's going on, and he said, no, we're almost done. And I kept asking him, like, hey, how much do you want me to stay? Like, what's going on here? And again, just confusion. So the truck that I was in was scheduled to get all new tires installed on Monday. So the office lady called me. She said, hey, when you're done with your job today, I need you to park that truck in the shop. Just leave it in the shop. I said, okay, cool. And then he gets a flat tire, so I get back to the shop eventually, after a lot of different shit happened. I get back to the shop, he's got his truck in the shop, so I can't park my truck in the shop. He said, hey, I'm going to need to use that truck because this one has a flat tire. Go ahead and load that empty box up onto that truck while this one's down, and I'm going to use that truck tomorrow because he was going to work on Saturday. So I get to the shop, load up the empty box. Then, office lady runs up to me. She's like, hey, we got a guy that doesn't know how to use the double rail very well, and he still needs to get the box returned to the rental place today. But he doesn't want to do it because he doesn't know how to run the truck very well. So will you wash out the box and return it for him? Said, I really ain't got much time left today because, you know, I had like an hour's left on my clock before I was going to be in violation. Because, I started really fucking early. And so I go over there, this guy, he does not know how to run this fucking truck at all. I'm trying to show him a little bit with it. He's trying to rinse out the box while it's on the truck bed. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, drop that, go park that truck. Load it up on this truck, so I'm going to return the box, I'm going to return it with this one. He says, well, I can return it with that one. I'm like, oh, alright, well, let's do that. So, I had to drop the empty box I just loaded up, I had to drop, and then I had to go over there and load up this dirty box, get it washed out, and then I just gave the keys to the dude, and I said, you fucking do it, I'm out of here. Went back in the shop, fucking tired, worn out, and head home. All in all, not a bad day. Just a stressful, long one. And because Thursday I just ran up to Des Moines and back. I didn't record or anything. Just a Des Moines run. And then Saturday showed up. What did we do on Saturday? I mowed. Kids had a water balloon fight. What was it? I guess it was Friday night. Okay, so I think I am totally wrong. I don't know. I think I accidentally stole an hour's worth of time. I don't know what. No, it was Thursday. There's a new restaurant that opened up out there, kind of near where I live. Within a half hour of where I live. Let's just say that. And it's called The Other Place. And it's a It's a restaurant. And we're trying to figure out where we're going to eat on Thursday. It was payday Thursday. So I'm like, hey, let's hit up the other place. You know, it just opened up last weekend. Let's go try it out. It's Thursday. No, I didn't steal no time. This was Thursday. Thursday at like 5:30, 5:45-ish. I call them up just to see if they have a wait or anything, because they are a new place, and new places have long waits for a while after they open. Oh no, yeah, there's like a 10-minute wait, but if you hurry up, probably won't be much of a wait. I'm like, okay, cool. So I get the family loaded up, and we head up right over there. And we get there, walk, and I'm fighting with this car because there's a car behind me. I'm not fighting with them, but they're following me. We turn. There's two entrances to the place. I decided to go to the far entrance because I always end up doing that just because I figure most people take the first entrance. So if there's parking spots, they're all going to be taken up at the first entrance before the second entrance. So I pull into the second entrance, driving around, be in this car. We pass each other in the first lane. We come together in the second lane, and there's two spots right next to each other, and we about fucking. It's just like, who goes first? You go first. No, I'll go first. All right, you go first. And then the lady gets in there, and she just flings her door right open. Right as I'm trying to pull in there, I'm like, oh, Jesus, I almost took her fucking leg off and bent her door back. And then they didn't have any kids. They run up to the front of the store, but they were meeting up with some friends, I guess. I don't know. We get the kids unloaded, and then we start walking, and I see like 4 different couples walk inside the store right before we get there. I'm like, God damn it. We need to hurry up and get in here. We get in there, you can't even move past the fucking door. You're stuck right there. And the fat motherfuckers that walked in right behind us squeezed past us and got to the hostess. And I'm like, God damn it. And I was really mainly upset at like my wife because she was standing right. I let her in first. I'm a gentleman. I open the doors. And she's just standing there. And I'm like, hey, go up to the fucking podium and tell them we're here. She's like, well, I can't really move. And then these fat fucks squeeze past us and go up there and get checked in before us. And I'm like, God damn it. So we walk up, get checked in. She's like, yeah, it's going to be like a 25, 30-minute wait. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. We'll go outside. So we go outside. The kids are running around with these rocks they have all over the place. There's a bunch of windows and a bunch of rocks, and my little kids are just, I'm like, oh my God, stop. Stop throwing the rocks. And we wait out there for about 25 minutes, and then we go inside, and I'm like, hey, is there any closer? She's like, yeah, I'm so sorry, it's going to be like another 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. We want to try out this new place. But we see like a bunch of empty fucking tables. So I don't understand what's going on. So we're just kind of standing there waiting. And then I'm paying attention to the hostesses and stuff. There's a bunch of people coming in. And they hear the long wait, and then they get out of there. And the lady comes up to me, and she's like, do you guys need kids menus? I'm like, yeah. First I said no, because we had already looked online at the menu and everything. We already had our shit locked and loaded, ready to go. But I was like, coloring pages, yes, we'd love some coloring pages. Because my kids, they are wild. They are prime time to run around and go crazy, and they're hungry, and it just, like, come on. And she says, all right, I'm going to seat you guys next. And then she goes back to the podium, and then another couple walks in. She starts telling them about everything. Then this other little red-haired lady walks up. She's like, hey, we can't sit any more people. She's like, well, I already told them that they could sit. She's like, no, we can't sit any more people. She's like, well, I gotta at least sit them. I already have their menus and everything ready to go right here. She's like, no, you can't sit any more people. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So she walks up to us, acting like we didn't hear everything she just said. She's like, the wait's gotten a little bit longer. Again, I'm so sorry. I'm like, all right, and I knew, but I'm like, do you know how much longer it could be? She's like, I don't. I'm like, what the fuck? This is 6 o'clock on a Thursday. Like, this is not a late night deal. This is like the beginning of the dinner deal. And y'all are not sitting any more tables. So I say, all right, what I meant was, let's go somewhere else, like get out of this chaotic area and go outside. Because we gave them our phone number so they could text us whenever the table was ready. I was like, all right, let's just go somewhere else. And so, that was closed when I saw it. That was closed when I saw it. The fucking scale that I'm driving by right now flickered the on open sign right as I just barely saw the green from it, but it was closed when I saw it. But clearly I'm fucking empty, so don't be sending anybody after me. I'm fucking empty. Clearly empty. I'm hauling a double rail right now, headed out to St. Louis. You never know, they might send a fucking officer out here like, hey, he's dodging. Dodging? Look at me, I'm empty. Anyways, I don't think anything's gonna happen here. Let me grab another drink. The coffee is especially good today. Not sure why. That is so good. Yeah, we ended up going to Texas Roadhouse. Just because Texas Roadhouse ended up being more than double what we were planning to spend at this other place. But got me a steak and shrimp, loaded mashed potato, or loaded baked potato, and a side salad, bloomin' onion, bunch of rolls, and we had a good time there. Although as soon as we sat down, I said, what do you have on draft? And she's like, oh, the regular big ones, what would you like? I was like, Budweiser. You have Budweiser on draft? All right, perfect. 22-ounce Budweiser on draft. Perfect. And then she comes back, she's like, oh, what did you want? I was like, Budweiser. And then she comes back, she gives my wife the margarita. She got a margarita or whatever. And the kids got waters and stuff. And she comes back, she's like, oh, we don't have Budweiser on draft. I was like, all right, what heavies do you have on draft? And it was like Bush. I was like, yeah, I'll do Bush. And she went back there, she came back, she's like, what was it again? I'm like, lady, I will just go up to the bar and order it. It's a Bush. You wanted the big one? I'm like, yes, you wrote this down. Wait, where's the piece of paper? Like, you looked at me and wrote all this stuff down. Like, what is going on here? But it was a good meal. Definitely got full on it and drove home. Had a good night. And then, I don't know, over this weekend, yeah, I didn't work on the truck at all. Sunday, I did ribs. So my wife had ordered from Aldi's, which has decent meat selection, was a package of baby back ribs, pork baby back ribs. And I had looked up some videos and talked to some people about like the 3-2-1 method, so that's what I did. It was Sunday at noon. I went ahead and I pulled the ribs out, dried them off, rubbed them down with mustard, put some of this Famous Dave's rib rub all over him, and set the smoke. I have a pellet smoker that my Florida boy buddy gave me before he took off. He said he misses it because he hasn't got a new one yet. I'm like, oh no. Sorry, you want me to bring it to you? So I get the I set it to smoke, which is the lowest, setting on the deal. Throw the ribs on there, meat side up, bone side down, and I let them sit there for a little while, like an hour, and then I go out there. I grabbed some apple cider vinegar. Like, we have a very tiny little bit amount of apple cider vinegar, and then we have this big jug of vinegar. So I add a little bit of vinegar to the apple cider vinegar. This will be good. And my wife walks in right as I'm doing it. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm adding some vinegar to this vinegar because there wasn't much in here, and I need to go out there right now and spray down the rubs or the ribs to keep them nice and moist." According to the video I watched, every hour you go out there and mess with them. She said, "You can't use that vinegar. That's cleaning vinegar." I'm like, "What's the difference?" She said, "It's more of a dilute and it's got acid in it." I said, "Oh, okay." So I look at it and it's got acid in it, all this stuff. But I was still like adamant. I'm like, she's like, "I will not eat those ribs if you put that on there." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, I need to find something to put on there." She's like, "Just use water." I'm like, "I'm not going to use water on my ribs. Are you fucking with me right now?" It's like, "No, I need something good to put on here." So I go through the fridge and I find one single Angry Orchard, wine cooler or whatever you want to call it. So I grab that and take it down to the garage, and I put a couple of holes in the top of the twist off. And actually, it's a pop off, and I just soak them in that, and then I close it up, wait another hour, go back out there, soak them, let them, then another hour goes by, take some foil. You're supposed to use like the big nice foil, but I have just cheap little foil, so I just wrap them up pretty good, but I wrap them up meat side down this time. So if all the juices that do come out will, get into the meat. At least it makes sense to me. And then, but I had to use like 2 sheets because one sheet wasn't big enough to cover them all. So, but I figured it'd be all right. Wrap them up. Everything's going very well. Go out there after 2 hours of leaving them on at a little bit. I set it to 220 or 225, whatever. Just bump it up to the next setting. And then I pull them off, and the foil gets ripped. Luckily, I had a pan sitting there, so I could set them on the pan, get them, take them out. Then I put them back on the smoker, bone side down again, and soak them. Well, no, I didn't soak them because they were already pretty wet. And then I just let them sit there for 1 hour. And that's when, after like half an hour on that last hour, you're supposed to go in there with like barbecue sauce or whatever. But I didn't want my shit to be all fucking messy. I like a dry rub rib, so I just left it the way it was, and after that, pulled them inside, and oh gosh, they were delicious. They were so fucking good. Uh, I'd like to try a different rub next time, because yeah, the wife, she was like, I don't really like the taste of it, but like the cooking method was perfect, but the rub and the Angry Orchard didn't really work out too well. I mean, it was good stuff still. Like, I ate all of them, licked each bone fucking clean. But I'd like to use some actual, like the stuff that I planned on using at the beginning, which would be like apple cider vinegar. And yeah, they were delicious. There was a couple of parts that were a little bit dry, but the big hunks of meat were nice and moist. But it was like the ends of it. The ends of it were a little bit dry. Um, so I don't know. Maybe next time I'll just put a little foil around the ends of it, and then throw it on there. Like cook it the entire time with the ends covered up a little bit. Kind of keep a little moisture in them. Anything else been going on? I wanted to work on the truck, but I don't know. Sunday, while I was doing the ribs, would have been a perfect time for me to go out there and do that, or like mess with the truck and stuff. But I don't know. It's super humid. I was not feeling it. You know, my laziness took me by the balls and sat me on the couch for most of the day. But it was nice to have a nice, relaxing day. It would have been nicer if I got some of the wiring figured out for my truck, but there will be time. I also printed off the pieces of paper for the antique license, or antique plates for my truck. I filled out as much as I could, but I didn't have the title with me. We don't have printer ink at home, so I had to do it at work. Filled out some of it at work. So, I don't know. But the more I was looking into it, it's like, you own this vehicle solely for the purpose of educational purposes. Now, like, what is that supposed to, I don't know. Like, is that just something in the fine print? So I don't know. I think I'm still going to go through with it, but I feel like it's going to, I don't know, could potentially become an issue. But I don't know. I don't think I'll have that big of an issue with it. Um, it will be more of a cop magnet with the plates. So I'm wondering if I should just get the antique plates that are like newer, and then maybe a little bit later on I can switch them, like just do a trial with the original, like, well, not the original, the plates that the state will give me with their name and number and all that shit on it. Just do a trial run with that and see how that goes, and see if anybody messes with me too much, and then I can grab the older plates another time and be like, hey, I got new plates, I'd like to put these on there, and then try those out. I don't know. A part of me feels like if I'm going to do the antique thing at all, I should just start and end with the antique plates that I got. Just do those. It'll be fine. Yeah. You exiting? I don't see a blinker, but you are going super slow for no fucking reason. Oh, okay. You are exiting. Oh, yeah, today, headed out to St. Louis, East St. Louis, which is in Illinois. So I'm driving literally all the way across Missouri to grab a dumpster of old food from Walmart. It's going to be very stinky, I imagine. So this is going to be a great day. A big stinky box of old food that's been sitting in the sun underneath a black tarp for however long. I'm going to grab this dumpster and I'm going to turn around and drive all the way back to Kansas City, dump it off at this horrible organic recycling facility. It's so nasty out there, but I think they're going to be closed whenever I get there, which is good because they will clean up their job site, they'll close it down, and nobody will be there. And then I can just pull in there and take my time because, it's kind of a madhouse there during the day. And then just dump all this fucking gross-ass food and then bring the box back to my shop. And then, I don't know, I guess just leave it at our shop until somebody can clean it. You can't return these boxes. Well, I guess, I don't know, unless these boxes go out here to Illinois. Because I'm coming back out here on Wednesday or Friday, I'm not sure, one of those days. I'm coming back out here. So I don't know if I'm going to return the boxes to them and they're going to wash them out. I'm not sure. But I think that's good enough for today. The last episode was like a 3-hour long episode. I did not realize that it was 3 hours long until I posted it. I was like, oh no. But hopefully it was entertaining for everybody. I still haven't heard anything back because I thought for sure, like, if they were upset at me because I was already like kind of getting by with some stuff because I didn't have to wait for them to tell me where to put the box, and then I don't think anybody saw the semi truck rolling away from me, and then I couldn't get the dumpster all the way onto the concrete pad without severely messing something up. So, but I haven't heard anything back yet, so I don't think I'm going to get in any trouble for that. I mean, until next time I head out there, that might be the time. But as of right now, no trouble, no issues with the way I did my job on Wednesday last week. But, yep. See you later.